From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News Weekend Edition.
Good evening and welcome to our Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. I'm Katie Looper. Our top story tonight. After 3 days and 12 attempts, 3 hikers stranded on an Alaska glacier were rescued Friday by Alaska Air National Guard members. Guard officials say responders assessed the condition of the hikers at the Knik Glacier north of Anchorage before flying them to an Anchorage hospital. Officials say preliminary evaluations indicate minor frostbite. The hikers were dropped off at the site April 3rd, but weather conditions prevented them from making their scheduled pickup last Sunday. The hikers texted a friend, and the Alaska Rescue Coordination Center was contacted. The Guard launched a helicopter and plane Wednesday morning, but weather prevented rescuers from reaching the hikers that day and Thursday. Rescuers dropped supply bundles, but the hikers couldn't reach them. The rescue was finally made after the weather improved.
It's an unbelievable feeling. Like as soon as we got the survivors loaded and I look back and just seeing their faces, you know, they're smiling. It's good, man. It's a good feeling.
The former executive director of the Alaska Intertribal Council has pleaded guilty to theft. 44-year-old Stephen Osborne of Fairbanks and his co-defendant Thomas Purcell each pleaded guilty to the theft of funds from an organization receiving federal funding. As a part of a plea deal, Osborne admitted to stealing $5,000, while Purcell admitted to stealing over $20,000. The exact amount of money Osborne stole through theft and misapplication will be established at a sentencing in June. A Fairbanks woman faces charges of reckless endangerment and criminal mischief in a case of alleged road rage. Police say 38-year-old Shannon Nelson was taken into custody after attempting numerous times to run her soon-to-be ex-husband off the road with her vehicle on April 8th. Police say Nelson rammed into the man's vehicle at a high rate of speed and later backed into it with 2 minor children inside. Nelson also accused of breaking the rear window of the victim's car with a baseball bat. The victim drove to the Fairbanks Police Department, where some of the incident was captured on security cameras. And blowing up stuff, pouring lava, torching gummy bears, and making ice cream with nitrogen were all on display today at the 22nd Annual Science Potpourri. The event was held at UAF as students, staff, and faculty helped generate lots of excitement among young learners. Families and kids of all ages participated in a variety of science experiments and activities representing all the sciences taught at UAF, including geology, chemistry, physics, biology, and mathematics. The event is sponsored by the College of Natural Science and Mathematics, and they said that they appreciate the overwhelming response from the community. Kids often return each year expecting to see something as good or better than the last time.
We hope that we do get kids excited about science and the fun that it is, and really that's why I do science, and that's why a lot of my students and faculty do science, is because it's fun and it's an exploration. And so this is really a chance for kids to explore, to get dirty, to really kind of see, hands-on experience what science is, and that it is an active process. And so we do get repeat visitors, and the feedback we got is very positive from kids, from teachers, from parents, and it's just a great thing for us to put on every year.
Fort Wainwright will be under more strict procedures due to an emergency management exercise this coming week. The drill is called Arctic Thaw 2015. It's intended to assess various military and civilian units on post by testing their abilities to implement emergency response plans, policies, and procedures during a crisis event. Visitors to Fort Wainwright may experience delays at access gates. The exercise starts this Monday and lasts through April 17th. And when we come back, a new exhibit was previewed in a special way at the Museum of the North. We'll have the details. Also, the Fairbanks North Star Borough will be holding an auction for an assortment of items on Tuesday. Those stories and more when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're looking for a good deal for furniture or office equipment, then the Fairbanks North Star Borough may have the answer for you. The FNSB's Spring Surplus Auction will get underway Tuesday at 2 p.m. The event will feature a variety of items that can be had for minimum prices. All bids will be closed and more information is available through the borough's website. One official says the auction was prompted because of replacement of a large amount of items.
We've opened the new branch library in North Pole in November of 2014, and so a lot of the furniture was replaced in the new library with the Rasmussen Foundation grant, and so we have a lot of library furniture, shelving, chairs, desks, filing cabinet, and so you can just go to our website online at the Borough Maine web page, and it's called Procurement Online, and you go down to the spring surplus sale and you can download a catalog, look at all the items, and also the bid document that you would just fill out and put in your offer for the different items.
Today was the first ever Community Baby Expo at the Fairbanks Imaging Center. They invited new and expectant parents to come in and collect information from local resources, watch hands-on demonstrations, and join in interactive seminars. Today, parents learned about community family resources, prenatal health care, newborn support, and car seat safety. The Imaging Center at Fairbanks Memorial Hospital wanted to help calm the nerves for first-time parents, caregivers, pregnant moms, and especially those just moving to town by providing information on how to care for their newborn. It was organized like a community baby shower, but instead of games, there were grand prize drawings instead.
We also actually have people from Fort Wainwright here, family advocacy. There were a couple of nurses from Fort Wainwright who brought the idea to us. So far, it's looking to be very successful. I'd like to do this again and have it bigger and better. More vendors, more opportunities for people to learn.
Yes, exactly. That's why I wanted to come, no matter what, just to see what Fairbanks has to offer, since we are so new and Alaska is different than the lower 48. It's nice to see what's available. I was a little worried about keeping the baby warm, but I've talked to some people and gotten lots of tips about how to, use layers and get a cover for the car seat, stuff like that.
Did you happen to see the dinosaur roaming around the University of Alaska Fairbanks campus? The University of Alaska Museum of the North is teasing a new exhibit about dinosaurs by debuting Snaps, the wearable Tyrannosaurus. Snaps met with several people walking across campus this morning. Museum curator Patrick Druckmiller says they made Snaps to help illustrate how dinosaurs would walk and move. The summer exhibit opens May 23rd and will display dozens of ancient specimens from expeditions over recent decades, as well as hosting interactive displays exploring Alaska dinos.
We thought we would debut it today before the final touches were on, but we're going to be putting more of a textured skin covering over it so you can still see places in the neck where we haven't quite finished it, and the tail as well, of course. So we're going to be putting a little bit more work into this, but it'll be ready to go by the time the exhibit opens.
A few years ago, a Fairbanks man had a rude awakening when he discovered that the things that were coming into his mind were also coming true. Monty Bowen talked with him and has the story.
Things Lee Chapman sees aren't always in the good news category. In fact, there were things that in most cases were not good. He said that it had been going on most of his life, and in the past few years it's become much more pronounced.
People call it intuition or whatever. It's more than that, and it exploded in 2012 or 2010.
Things he felt were going to happen often did, like a missile launch.
I was getting visions of a missile heading towards the United States that came from North Korea, China, that area.
He went on national radio a number of times to talk about his visions, like the price of oil dropping and a major disease scare.
Let's go to Fairbanks, Alaska, west of the Rockies. Hey, Lee, thanks for calling.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, Lee.
Caller.
Good. Glad you got through.
The worst one, he says, was one that he misinterpreted.
In the conversation, and they asked me what I see now, and so I'm looking around sort of in my mind, however, and all I can see is sand.
It turned out to be Sandy Hook. The Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting occurred December 14th of 2012. Chapman says he sees his ability to see some things before they happen as a blessing and not a curse, although it can be frustrating.
Tremendously frustrating.
How many people think you're just crazy?
99.9%.
He says some of the things happening in the world now are not going to have a happy ending, although he hasn't gone into detail.
ISIS is going to be one of them. And what's happening with Russia is going to be another one.
This is Monty Bowen reporting.
Mike Fussel's coming up next with all your local sports action. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, sports fans. Mike Fussell here with the latest interior action. It's been a very busy weekend for sports, and we'll have results from the Ice Dogs' first playoff game. But first, runners at the Beat Beethoven 5K were racing against an unusual opponent today, the Fairbanks Symphony Orchestra. The event started and finished outside of the Paddy Center. Competitors pushed themselves to complete the race before the orchestra finished Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. That meant racers needed to cross the finish line in about 30 minutes. Those who did successfully beat Beethoven received a voucher for free admission to a Fairbanks Symphony Orchestra concert. Kinsey Lane finished on top in the women's division with a time of 19 minutes and 58 seconds, while Max Donaldson placed first in the men's division, crossing the line at 17 minutes and 38 seconds. He was the overall race winner as well. Donaldson says the early race was a good way to transition back into running competitively out of the winter season.
Yeah, I didn't go out there with like huge expectations. I just wanted to see how fast I could go. I've been skiing and doing some running, so yeah, it's kind of fun to be able to go out there and just race again.
And Arctic Man was supposed to kick off yesterday, but some rain and snow put a damper on the competition. The KTVF sports team went back today to see if officials could get the race off despite the poor conditions.
The start of the day, the weather conditions looked pleasant for the 30th annual Arctic Man. The Hoodoo Mountains were teeming with spectators and competitors ready for the race. The women's division started off the action. Take a look at this. This is the spot where skiers and snowboarders met up with snow machines to be pulled at faster speeds to the finish line. There were a couple falls, but nothing too serious. The women's ski clash finished up and several snowboarders got on the slopes, but the weather just didn't want to participate. Snow and rain moved through the Hoodoo Mountains, making for less than ideal racing conditions. Visibility was a big issue as the wind created some white-out conditions. Snow really started coming down on Friday, and it didn't let up today. Race officials decided to cancel the event as a whole. This is the first time the event's been canceled since 2001, and it's the first time it's ever been stopped after events were in progress. We'll have more coverage for you in our weekend recap with Joe Cook on Monday.
Today's Arctic Man update is brought to you by the Alaska Fun Center and the Big Eye Pub and Lounge.
And the Ice Dogs kicked off postseason play last night against the Minnesota Magicians at the Big Dipper. Both teams kept it close in the first period, trading one score each. Adam Wilcox got the shot off for Fairbanks. Then things got interesting in the second. The Magicians scored an early goal, but the Ice Dogs answered back. The score teetered the entire period, with Ethan Somoza finding the back of the net at the end of the second to put the Ice Dogs up 4-3. Lucas Loeb snuck one in between the pipes for the Magicians in the third. That would bring the game to a tie at the end of regular time, sending it into OT. In a tense overtime battle, Chandler Maudry slipped his way past defensemen to secure the game-winning goal. The Ice Dogs would hold off Minnesota and win it 5-4. That puts them up 1-0 in the 5-game postseason series.
You know, I came into the zone. I was looking for the pass right away. I saw Hetty driving. I thought I'd make a move. You know, it was kind of a desperation move, and he screened the goalie really well, and it went through. It was a good play. That's playoff hockey. You just kind of keep with it. You know, it's a long game and it's a long series. So to get that goal in overtime was a huge relief for our team, and we're up 1-0. That's all that matters.
And some of the top UAF athletes had a chance to get out of their comfort zones earlier today. The university's teams traded places to play sports they don't normally compete in. The first matchup of the day was hockey. That's a mixture of different athletes battling it out there on the ice. The proceeds from the event went to the Make-A-Wish Foundation as well as several other organizations. The event was open to the public. It took place throughout the day at the Paddy Center and concluded with a dance and closing ceremony. And don't forget, tomorrow you can catch Joe Cook out of his element as well. He'll be taking on the Harlem Globetrotters as a guest player for the Washington Generals. That's at the Carlson Center. Swing by and see how Joe holds up against the team's world-famous antics. And that about brings us to the buzzer for sports tonight. Thanks for joining me this weekend. For more KTVF sports, log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, and download our mobile app. Katie Looper is up next with your full weather forecast. We'll see you next weekend.
Welcome back. So Mike, I bet a lot of us woke up this morning confused. Winter's back again.
Yeah, it was definitely a rude awakening.
Yes.
Getting cold again, but is that going to be going on for a while?
No, thankfully things are going to warm
That's
up next week, but we'll see.
That's
Tomorrow
good news.
might be more rain showers and snow.
Okay.
All right, but let's take a look at our almanac for today. There's a normal high of 42, a normal low of 17. Our record high got up to 63 in 1921 and record low of 32 below in 1911. Our sun rose at 6:32 this morning and sets at 9:16 this evening, giving us 14 hours and 44 minutes altogether and a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. Now around the state today, rain showers in Juneau and Ketchikan around 40 degrees. 40 degrees in the Anchorage Bowl as well with clouds, and same with Kodiak. Yet clear skies near Bethel and Denali Park at 22 degrees. Up there in Barrow, 1 degree with cloudy skies, and then in Fairbanks, 34 with some cloudy skies and rain showers. All right, snow showers. And then in our lower 48 today, Seattle is raining at 53, yet Salt Lake's a little sunnier at 70 degrees, same with Las Vegas at 83. Over there, Minneapolis, 68 degrees for them with some rain showers, same with Dallas at 75. Lightning storms in New Orleans at 78 degrees, yet clear skies in New York at 57. Now for next week, we can expect rain in the northwest, yet very warm temperatures in our southwest. Windier conditions up there in the north, same with snow showers and in the New York area, and then as we go on down, heavy thunderstorms in our deep south and mild temperatures on the east coast. Now back in Alaska, snow showers for Barrow, mostly cloudy for Nome and Fort Yukon, 8 in Barrow, 33 in Fort Yukon, and 15 degrees in Nome. Now in the interior, rain and snow and 40 degrees in Fairbanks, 38 in Delta, 36 in Healy. As we move on to our southeast portion, rain for Ketchikan, snow and rain for Juneau at around 40 degrees. And as we move on to the west side, clouds for Bethel and Kodiak and snow at Cold Bay, and temperatures in the mid to higher 30s in Cold Bay and Kodiak and 25 for Bethel. Now lastly, for our south central region, snow in Anchorage and Valdez, rain and snow for Homer, and temperatures all around 40 degrees. Now for tonight's forecast, 25 snow showers, possibly mixing with rain, and then like I said, 40 degrees and rain snow mix. And for the extended outlook, temperatures are going to be raising up to even 50 on Thursday and then remain in the 20s for our nightly temperatures. So very nice temperatures expected for next week.
That sounds great. You know, tomorrow is Ski for Women, so hopefully that snow will help out in the trail conditions and make things so they're not all messy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can only imagine it being very slushy. This is like right in the nick of time.
Yes, that's going to make, there's a costume contest going on, so that would make for a very interesting display of people out there.
Muddy dresses and
yes.
Well, I've seen them, they wear a lot of pink, don't they, some of them?
Yep, there's a lot of pink out there, that's for sure.
Should be a fun event, so anybody can join, right?
Yep, anyone can go.
Cool. All right, well, that'll wrap up this Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
Join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
And from all of us here at the News Center, have a good night.